Biblical Shakers, we will continue celebrating Easter on Monday as we read the resurrection story from Luke chapter 25 with a devotion by Jane. I pray that your Easter celebration touched your heart and soul. On Tuesday, we will begin a new book with the introduction to Nehemiah, followed by chapters 1 through 3, Wednesday through Friday, with corresponding daily devotions. We just finished with the book of Ezra that told about the restoring of the temple. Now, Nehemiah will write about the rebuilding of the wall that surrounds Jerusalem. Nehemiah was a Jew who had a responsible position in the Persian government. He knew that God wanted him to motivate the Jews to rebuild Jerusalem's walls. The Jews lacked leadership. Nehemiah was a well-organized manager who could encourage people and at the same time meet opposition and confront justice. The concern that Nehemiah had about Jerusalem was because it was their holy city and represented Jewish national identity. Prayer and communication with God gave him the direction that he needed. Nehemiah was no ordinary exile. We find this out in chapter 2 when he arrived in Jerusalem with the king's approval to build and fortify the city. His approach was excellent because he got firsthand information and carefully considered the situation. Then he presented a realistic strategy. Spiritual renewal often begins with one person's vision. The vision Nehemiah had was shared with enthusiasm, inspiring Jerusalem's leaders to rebuild the wall, which became a reality. When you encourage and inspire others, you can put teamwork into action to accomplish God's goals. Jerusalem was a large city, and because many roads converged there, it required many gates. The wall on each side of these heavy wooden gates was taller and thicker, so soldiers could stand guard to defend the gates against attack. Building the city wall and gates was not only a military priority, but also a boost for trade. You will read about the different gates in the wall and what the different purposes for them were in chapter 3. Nehemiah blended self-interest with the group's objectives, helping everyone to feel that the wall project was his own. In the next few weeks, we will continue to read about this man of character, persistence, and prayer. Be sure and check in, because remember, Biblical Shakers makes reading the Bible way more enjoyable for you. And I pray that the Lord will put a hunger on your heart.